Welcome to Blue Collar Compendium. This mower came to me from my good friend Zach, whose grandfather Bub bought it new. After Bub passed away, the mower sat in Zach's barn for a number of years until I mentioned I was in the market for a riding mower, which my wife could more easily use when I'm away on work trips. Zach and I struck a deal, and Little Red came home with us. This is a Craftsman YTS3000 lawnmower with a single-cylinder 21 horsepower Briggs & Stratton made between 2009 and 2010. As you can see, this mower could use some love. My process for getting Little Red started is simple. I just want to put as little work as possible into proving the mower runs before I put extra time and money into it. I usually run down 3 topics when I diagnose a motor: fuel, air, and spark. At 1.4 volts, likely this battery is shot, but I'm going to take it out, throw it on the trickle charger, and see if it'll come back to life anyways. I put the old battery on a trickle charge for about 2.5 hours. Nope, doesn't look like it. Oh well, time for a new battery. Whoops. On this guy, I drained the carb and tank, replaced the fuel filter, and put in fresh, clear gas. Well, I'm not sure what that is, but I know it's not supposed to be in the gas tank. I always like to keep a bunch of empty bins laying around in order to put parts in that could easily roll away. I find that it helps me keep myself organized and make sure I don't lose anything. These bins probably came from some hospital visit. This is a fuel shutoff carburetor solenoid. It's obviously not working right, but I'll note it to address it later. It's not going to stop me from getting this thing started. With the fuel tank out, I move the various levers around just to make sure there's no binds or kinks in the cables. The fuel filter is a little bit too big for this guy, but that's okay. It's the one I had on hand and it'll still work. Looking at the fuel system, I kind of think what this really needs is a positive fuel shutoff valve, which I'll probably install later, but that's another project. In this clip, you'll see the fuel tank got the better of me. It ended up being a cable that was in the way that prevented the fuel tank from going in correctly, which led me to believe that it went in backwards, which it obviously didn't. And here's the point where I knew I was wrong. I put about 1 gallon of fuel in it just to test everything out. No sense in filling everything up just to find a major leak that requires me to drain the tank and cause myself more work and more mess. Before I start the motor, I like to check the engine oil. If anything, just for peace of mind to make sure it's there. Even if it was black, I would have left it in it for a later project, but turns out this thing looked like it had just gotten an oil change. Before I start cranking, I like to walk around and just take a look to make sure I don't cause myself any future problems when I start cranking over the motor, such as like a loose wire or a misplaced tool. If I wouldn't have gotten any spark, I would have then pulled the plug. But thankfully, after a few tries, Little Red fired right up. Here I do a quick walk around while the motor's running, just to look for any leaks, before I run through the gears and make sure that it goes back and forth just fine. Now that the mower is running, I aired up the tires to the 12 psi. I like to use air to clean off most of my equipment before I go to water. It just seems like it's easier thing for me to find if there's a leak or some other problem that I can't see right away if I was to splash it with water. I bought some Purple Power spray cleaner and set about soaking the entire machine before spraying it off. I like finding handwritten notes about engine specs. Whoever wrote it had the forethought to know they wouldn't have the manual laying around and needed quick answers to get the machine back up and running. I think it speaks to the character of the person who owned the mower and makes me feel like they took care of their stuff. Now, Little Red's ready to mow. But as you can see, there's no need to mow this time of year, so I'll put it away. Stay tuned next time, as I think I'll go through the carburetor and maybe add an accessory to make some routine home maintenance a little easier. If you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Until next time, thanks for watching.